Good evening, everyone. Good evening. If you can hear my voice, say I can hear your voice, right? If you can hear my voice, say I can hear your voice. This is the voice of Adeswa Oni, the stepped up nurse. And welcome. I want to say a very big welcome. Welcome to everyone that's right here in this mentorship session to listen to me talk about career progression in nursing. So, welcome. Let's wait for a few other people to join us, right? Thank you so much. So, I'm giving us a few minutes, right? So, please drop a message on the major group on WhatsApp and let them know we have started. Thank you. Good evening, Nurse Folorun Shaw. Good evening, Nurse Ugu. Good evening. Welcome. 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 I can see you. Good evening, Nurse Chinonso Kelvin. Thank you for joining. Are you Chinonso Kelvin or Chinonso Esther? Which one is it? Welcome. Thank you for joining. Please let others know that we have started so that they can join us right away. Right? Yeah, we have just about 45 minutes for this session or less than that. I will not take our time. So I need us to join on time, right? Thank you. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Please drop a message on the main group on WhatsApp and let them know we have started. Right? I don't want today to be like yesterday. Let's join on time so that we can begin. Right? Okay. So how many people do we have here? Good evening. I've been waiting for us to join, and it's sad that I can only see 5 people here. So if you can hear me, please drop a comment and say I can hear you. I can hear you. Right? I'm about to begin now. So let me know if you can hear me. And please let others know that we have started now. Right? I don't want anyone to miss this session, as straightforward as it may seem to everyone. Right? Thank you. Thank you. So let me know that you can hear me if you can hear me. Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's good to get your feedback that you can hear me. So we are going to start now, right? And I'm going to start with a short story about myself, about my own career progression, right? It's not something so long. I've not been so long in the nursing profession. I've just been when did I get into nursing? I got into nursing 2006, right? 2006, and it's been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing journey, yeah. And it's not been free of heartaches. It's not been free of suffering. It has not been free of um, joy too, because yeah, every form of suffering comes with its own form of joy too. So we cannot say everything is all bad, bad, bad. Trust me, there are, with every one nurse out there that is not happy, there are 5 to 10 other people that are wishing to be in our shoes. Despite the fact that, okay, yes, I am not a registered nurse, but I'm not happy. There are a lot of people out there that want to be in that person's shoes. So that's what makes it most amazing, right? It makes it much more amazing. And I usually tell people, be grateful for where you are, be grateful for where you have gotten to, be grateful for the insight you have towards where you're going, and also be grateful for the future that you're creating for yourself already. Trust me, no matter how small you think you are right now, for the fact that you have set before you great plans towards your future. You are excited about life. You are excited about progress. You are excited about everything beautiful, right? Because you know that you have a goal. Goal. Write in the comment section if you can hear me. Goal. The goals, goal oriented. So if you are a goal oriented person, you cannot be in nursing and be unhappy, right? If you are goal oriented, like you're like, okay, this is my goal, this is what I want to achieve, and I will definitely achieve it, you won't find yourself depressed. You will not find yourself in a situation where you say, okay, this career, I think is just wrong for me. I don't think I'm in the right place, right? So being goal oriented is very important. So let me go into my short story, right? Okay, nursing school for me was a mixture of different things, right? It was a mixture of different things, but generally it was fun. Yes, welcome, Blessing Osage. Thank you for joining us. Yes. So nursing for me was not so bad, right? And I think I had the time of my life. At that time, it looked like one was suffering, but in the process of going through everything, with every exam you wrote and escaped, you have that surge of adrenaline that makes you feel like, okay, I think I'm doing something right. I think something is cool around here, right? If you have failed an exam before in nursing school, you'll be like, okay, what's happening here? But immediately you begin to see where you've made mistakes and where it is you have pinpointed as your growth spots, right? Once you pinpoint them, you already have a plan towards upscaling. And that is the reason for mentorship. Do you get? You are mentored so that you can see spots where you need to grow. You can see reasons why you need to grow. You can see modalities for which you're going to grow. You are not everywhere. You know, when they say someone is everywhere, yes, it may look like you're everywhere. I know a few nurses like me that may look as if, yes, we are into vlogging, we are into blogging, we are into podcasting, we are into writing content creation, we are into speaking, training speakers, training nurses, training pregnant women. So it looks like you're everywhere, but trust me, there is still a lot that we are not in. Everything I've said today is all majorly sitting around nursing. I'm not into tech. I'm not into aircraft. I'm not into there are so many other things that I am not. Right? So trust me, I am not yet everywhere. I'm just settling in my niche and getting, what's the word I'm going to use? Getting into the place of influence, right? Balancing my strengths and helping other people to realize the things they need to upskill. So let me go back to my story about nursing school. Yeah, nursing school was very exciting for me. Very, very exciting. Sorry, it's not from your end, it's from my end. I'm so sorry. So, like I was saying before, thank you for joining us, Lillian Chioma, right? Thank you. Yes, it's not from your end, it's from my end. Yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, I said nursing school for me was quite okay. That's the word I was going to use because it was a mixture of feelings, a mixture of emotions, right? Today you're sad, tomorrow you're excited about something. Today there's a surge of adrenaline, tomorrow like you are so low
Then I think midwifery school was more of perspective for me. I was already sure of what I wanted to do. I had progressed, right, academically. There is a mix between academic progression and career progression, right? So there is a place where academic progression and career progression intertangle. They are about nearly the same thing, because if you're advancing in your career, if you're advancing in your academics, you're very likely to advance in your career. So it goes pari passu, right? So moving on to midwifery school, it was a time when I realized that there is much more to achieve being a nurse. And right now, if I don't know what level of life you are in right now, I need to let you know that you need to look around you and ask yourself, how am I going to maximize my present position, my present level, my present rung in the ladder? You know, every ladder has rungs that you are going to climb, right? So if you're climbing academically, you're climbing career wise, it's a ladder, right? You're climbing and you're expecting that, okay, one day you are going to get to the very top and you are going to achieve what you set out to achieve. That is enough reason to make you have a spring to your steps every day. Trust me, if you have a plan about how you want to ascend in along the ladder, then you will not get depressed. You will not get demotivated. You will not see a situation where you'll be like, okay, I think I'm done. I'm no more interested in all of this. I don't have the energy for this, right? So always make sure that no matter where you are right now, whether you are just a registered nurse, and I don't think there's not anything just about being a registered nurse. It's something that is awesome, right? Very, very awesome. There's nothing just about, okay, somebody reached out to me one time. I was like, oh, how are you going to help me to do this? I'm just a registered. And I said, no, you are not. There's nothing just about being a registered nurse, right? What I mean is, if you have just started out, when I said just, what I mean is, if you have just started out in your career, because when you get into nursing school, yes, you have stepped into the nursing profession, right? And trust me, even before you graduate and become a registered nurse, there are a lot of skills you have gathered. There are a lot of things you have learned, both clinically and non-clinically, right? So you are enough. You are enough. Don't tell yourself that, oh, I don't think this career is something that will be rewarding. I'm just starting and I think I have a very long way to go. Trust me, when I was in nursing school, midwifery school, I usually look at it as though it's take me decades to get to where I want to get to, right? It looked like my future was so far. And trust me, 13 years has gone so very fast and it looked like yesterday. So please, wherever you have found yourself on the wrong, position, right? Upskill, right? To still talk a lot about upskilling later. But when um when I'm done talking about my career progression, Okay, I'm sorry, a call came in. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, please drop it in the comment section. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear. So I'm going to continue from where I stopped. So when I got to midwifery school, I gained more perspective about what I really wanted, and I made sure that I maximized that time. True, I had my registered nurse certificate, and I immediately, not immediately, after some months, after caring for my mom, because my mom was on admission for some time, I got a job, and then I worked 6 months into that job before I let me know you can hear me in the comment section, right? Thank you. So I'd gotten a job before I got into midwifery school. When I got into midwifery school, I did not resign from the job. I just kept on with it, and I negotiated with my recruiter and let him know that okay, I wanted to combine this. And that's one fantastic thing about nursing. You have opportunities to get flexibility for what you want, right? If you really want something, I usually tell people where there is a will, there is a way, right? Once you have a will towards achieving something, then a way will show forth, right? So there is no need to get too perturbed that okay, I'm doing this thing, I don't think I can do this other thing. Nursing is one profession in which you can actually combine a lot of things together, and the profession itself grooms you to know how to multitask, right? If you have been in nursing for at least 5 years, you would have learned certain skills that will help you to be able to multitask, right? In your process of becoming, you would have definitely learned how to stretch in one way or the other. So actually that happened for me, and I could combine working and schooling. I was class rep. It was very stressful, as in extremely stressful, but I did not decide that I was going to limit myself because I was working and schooling. There were other things that I decided to work on, right? We did the first ever midwifery week during my set, in my set, yes, we did the midwifery week, and it was preparing for it was very serious. Even getting permission, UCH is one of the most serious nursing schools that I've ever heard about, right? Their principles are always too very, very, their standards are always very, very, as in, let me just say they are very strong. When you say something is strong. So actually we succeeded in getting permission, and we had the midwifery week. Then we went on to have our magazine, right, which was also the maiden edition, the first ever in nursing school, even in midwifery school, right? It was not easy printing a very beautiful, glossy magazine at the same time and making sure that I was acing my tests and my exams. In fact, it was so bad that I had to always run from work, get on a bike, and get down to school. The distance from my workplace to my school was nothing less than 30 minutes on bike, right? So if I had to take a public transport, it would have been very crazy because I wouldn't get to school before 1 hour, right? So it was actually very crazy, but it was the time to stretch. I think that phase of my life actually helped me to be able to keep stretching through my journey, my career progression in nursing, right? There are certain circumstances you go through in life that helps you gain stretchability, flexibility for your future. Certain things may happen to you at your workplace that may make you feel like, why am I going through all of this? Why is everything happening to me in this manner? But trust me, it might be a preparatory phase for something fantastic that was supposed to happen in your future. So learn to maximize whatever opportunity you have that's presented to you in your career journey, right? Whether you are a newly registered nurse, in fact, if you are a student nurse, there are some opportunities that you are going to meet with that you may never meet with for the next 10 years as a registered nurse. Trust me, if you graduate as a registered nurse and you go work in a renal setting, and you happen to be in that renal setting for about 10 years, then it's very possible that you have totally forgotten everything about pediatrics. You've forgotten everything about maternal and child health because you have channeled yourself into a route that is totally different from what you initially planned. Initially, when you applied, you planned to work for just 1 year. But at the end of the day, things happened, life happened, and you discovered that you've been there for 10 years. And if anybody asks you, for instance, if you did a midwifery special, if you went to a midwifery specialty and somebody asked you that, okay, how do you what tell me about ROA, tell me about LOA, and you're like, see, what I don't know what LOA and ROA is anymore. Just leave me alone because I've been out of practice for quite some time. So that is one thing about the profession called nursing, right? So let me continue my story, right? So after midwifery, I went on to work somewhere else. I resigned from where I was before because the pay was not equal to my new qualification. So my advice to you, if you're listening to me and you're in that phase of life, you are double qualified, but what you are doing right now, where you're working right now, is not in tandem, or is not aligning with your certification right now. That means it's time to upskill. It's time to move forward, right, in your progress. You need to be determined about these things. If you're not determined, you will discover that you've been in one spot for a year, for 5 years, for 10 years, just because you were afraid of moving. You were afraid of what the future may hold that may not be, that feeling of uncertainty was there, right? So I moved on to work somewhere else, and luckily for me, I got an opening to work in a state hospital, right, where I worked for 6 years, right, before I decided to resign and leave and then come to where I am presently, right, which is a federal setting. Now, while I was in the state setting, there was an opportunity I took. Immediately I got there, I told myself that I was going to start my BSc program immediately, right? I had options, right? But even I had an international option. I had to decline it because of finances, right? I declined it. I had another local option that was fantastic, 3 years, just 3 years, and I also declined it because of finances. Then LAUTECH was my last option, and I had to go into it. Yes, I had financial incapabilities, but I just went into it with faith, right? In faith that, okay, I think I can still cope with putting together this thing. So if you're listening to me right now, you're single and you're earning something, please move in career progression, because tomorrow is not certain. There is no hopes like, oh, I think I will start next year, maybe when I get a new job. Don't wait till you get that future you want before you move into creating the future you want, right? Don't say, oh, I think when I'm thinking of working in an oil company. When I get a job with an oil company, I will start my BSc. True, true. You can get into that, you can get that job, but you might not get an opening to start your program. But if you have started your program before you got that job, there is every probability that you'll be inclined to continue, right? Because you have started, and even your employer will be more employed to help you because you have put in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years into a program, and just because you were employed, they wouldn't want to stop you from continuing that program. So please, this time, right now, as you're listening to me, is the time to decide that, okay, I'm moving on, right? I had the opportunity to talk to certain people. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think you will start hearing me now. In a few minutes, you would hear me. Just hang on, right? I can see your comments. I'm right here, and I'm sure you start to hear me in a few minutes, right? So just hang in there. So, like I was saying, I told myself that, okay, I'm going to maximize this opportunity and start a program. And I decided to start my BSc program. And I've never regretted it for one day, because it took me 5 years. And when I was done with that 5 years program, I think the following year was when I got this job. And I was like, what if I had not started when I got this job and I got in with my BNSC certificate, right? So if I hadn't started when I started, it would have been a rougher ride for me, right? It cannot be an impossibility, definitely, but it would have been rougher for me to start traveling to the north, from the north to the west, to achieve what I wanted to achieve or finish up with my school, right? And trust me, in the period of waiting and hoping for something, opportunities will come, right? Opportunities will come. And if that opportunity meets you unprepared, the next thing you're going to say is, oh, I don't have my BSc degree. Please, what I have, I'm a registered nurse. I have, some people have so many diplomas. Some people have orthopedic nursing, geriatric nursing, midwifery, public health nursing, and everything. And they're not really working with those certificates, right? So let me get into it. In the next 20 minutes, I'll be done with this session. Blessing Osage, can you hear me now? I believe you can hear me now, right? Okay, so drop in the comment section if you can hear me right now as I speak, right? Let me know if you can hear me. Now, career progression is the act of ascending, is the act of moving forward in your career. It's as simple as that. Very, very simple. I've done a recording to this effect. I'm going to share it with you so that anybody that feels incapacitated data-wise to listen to this, to watch this video, will still be able to maximize the audio version, right? So like I said, both in okay, yes, you can hear me. That's cool. Thank you so much. So like I said before, it's a matter of climbing the ladder, right? And I'm not even done with my story. So after that session, last year I had the opportunity. Somebody sent me a link and told me that, okay, I think you should consider this. I think you are a perfect fit for this opportunity. And I clicked on it and boom, I got my master's program opportunity and I started. I didn't have the funds, trust me. I did not have the funds. So last 2 months ago, when we were talking about, we did, I think we did a webinar. I did a webinar alongside Mr. Okafor about the BSc program, the top-up nursing program in the UK. And a lot of people had the excuse of, oh, I don't have money. And I told them that, see, there is no time that money will just sit and tell you that, oh, take me and use me for this purpose. We have to be intentional about growth. We have to be intentional about progressing in whatsoever it is. In fact, if it's not even academics, whatever it is you want, even if it is marriage, right? You need to be very intentional about your progression. You need to be very intentional about your growth and take the bull by the horn. Like, okay, I'm going to do it right now. Right? The best time to do whatever that has to do with growth is now. There is no point procrastinating. Oh, I'm going to wait. I want to save. I want to save for 8 months. So when I'm done saving, the beautiful thing about that type of program is that you can pay as you go. Every month, just keep paying whatever you have as you go. And the models will be open up to you and you'll be able to take them and just keep moving. Before you know, you are done with your program. 18 months is gone. Right now, I'm 1 year into my program, nearly 1 year into my program, and it looked like yesterday. When I started, it looked like yesterday. And before I know it, 2024 will be here and I'll be done. And I'm going to be starting my doctorate program immediately, right? Except I get another master's degree program that I want to do, because it looks like I'm going to do 2 or 3 master's program. It all depends on how determined I am to do certain things at that stage of my life, which is in my future, right? So what I want to let us know is that career progression is a very intentional process. It's very, very intentional. And career progression is all the steps you take to improve your career, right? All the steps you take to improve in your career. And trust me, career progression is very simple. Right? It's something that is very simple and straightforward. In fact, I had to ask myself at a point, is there any need for this session? But trust me, when we had our mentorship session, the free mentorship session I had with Set Up Nurses in December/January, yes, so many people did not have their session in December, so they had their sessions in January. Many people were talking about career progression. And I was like, there's nothing so fantastic about this thing. When you're done with your RN, go on and do your BSc program. And when you're done with your BSc, if you want to continue, then go on and do your master's program and then go on to do your doctorate. It's as simple as that. And then in-house, right there on the job, decide to keep upscaling and upskilling. That is just a summary of everything I need to say this evening. Trust me, if I don't go into any other details, You already know everything you need to know about upscaling, except you want to relocate and leave the shores of Nigeria. If you are deciding to stay within the shores of Nigeria, then what you need to do is very straightforward. If you started your nursing career in the university, you have a shorter distance to cover, right? If you started in university, all you just need to do is to move on to do your master's program. And then after your master's program, you move on to do your doctorate based on what it is you want. So wherever it is you're working right now, it will be very fantastic if you're working in a teaching hospital where you might have the opportunity to be posted to different units, right? So if you did not discover what you really wanted as a student nurse, when you begin to work as a registered nurse, you will definitely discover those things, right? You will be able to determine that, okay, I think I love midwifery. Oh, I think I love pediatric nursing, right? I was posted to pediatric units, special care baby units, right? I was posted to intensive care unit, that's the ICU. I was posted to male surgical ward, male medical ward, female medical ward, and I saw different things that helped me to decide and be sure of what I wanted to do. I know a nurse today that wants to go into wound care and tissue viability nursing. There are a lot of people that have not even heard about wound care, as in they know wound dressing. They do wound dressing every day, but they don't know there's a specialty called tissue viability. They don't know that there is something like that, right? But if you don't spread your wings, if you don't network, if you don't seek mentorship, right? If you don't communicate with brilliant minds in your industry, there are certain things you would not know. The world will be closed up to you, right? Everything will be a shutdown. For instance, now so many people got this link to join this session, but they did not join. Now, for everything you decided not to pay attention to, you are missing out on something else. You are missing out on growth. You are missing out on academic or career progression. You are missing out on upskilling yourself. You are missing out on self-development. You are missing out on personal development. You are missing out on building your personal brand. You are missing out on a lot of growth processes. And trust me, it might get so bad that people that were your juniors in nursing school, people that had not even thought about getting into the profession, when you became a registered nurse, will come and meet you where you are and accent and go further than you have gone already. That's the problem with deciding late, or that's the problem with procrastinating and saying, oh, I think I'll do it later. Oh, I think I'll do it later. Okay, when I was applying for LAUTECH program, right, I had a very good friend, which we applied together, right? She was not taking. She applied the following year, she was not taking. The third time, she told me that nothing comes to me so hard. Things in life usually come to me easy. I don't think I want to try the third time, right? So our relocation process finally hit home, I think 2 years ago, and she relocated to the US. Immediately she relocated. After 3 months, the first thing on her mind was, I want to do my BS because Adesoa is already done. I was already done before she even relocated. Isn't that amazing? When she eventually relocated and she started, she gave it her best. She gave it her all. She committed all her funding to it. And trust me, next month she's finishing. As in, I spoke with her last night, and she was telling me that, babe, 14 months is over. 1 year and 2 months. It's over, like so over. And she already told me she wants to start a DMP program. That's doctorate of nursing practice, right? So I've already summarized everything that has to do with career progression in these stories that I've told, right? If you want to leave the shores of Nigeria and maybe you are living as a registered nurse, the next thing you're going to be thinking about while working is to find a way by which you can do your BSc program, because she was doing her BSc and she's working. She was working and schooling, and she has 2 children. So trust me, she had the pressure of marriage, she had the pressure of children to deal with. So you can actually achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, no matter the constraints you experience, right? With that level, that amount of school fees she's paying, she's still surviving, she's even thriving, right? So if you are not going to thrive in Nigeria, wherever it is you are going, you need to be determined that I need to start now, right? Because with every year you decide to postpone your plans, you will just discover that you're not advancing, and opportunities you will come and you will not be able to grab them. Yes, leadership, especially leadership opportunities. There is a lot of space at the bottom. You can decide to be a bottom nurse, a floor nurse. You can decide to be roaming around with every other person at the base. But trust me, at the top, there's a lot of space waiting for you to get there. Calling out to you, Ellen Akibon, calling out to you, Chioma Lillian, calling out to you, Kemi Shoyoye, calling out to you, Blessing Osage, calling out to you, Chinoso Kelvin, calling out to you, Fọlọ́run Shaw, calling out to you, Blessing Osage, calling out to you that, okay, there is space here. Why don't you come occupy? But you cannot take on that opportunity because you have not academically run your life to be to grab that opportunity, right? You've not aligned yourself, you've not gotten the certification you need to get to where you actually opt to get to, right? So if you're in the shores of Nigeria, career progression is very straightforward. When you're done with your RN, move on, right, to your BSc program, to your MSc program, right? Thankfully, your BSc program is open ground, right? When you get your MSc, you determine where you want to do your MSc, right? You'll be sure whether it's maternal and child health, whether it's public health you want to go into, whether it's pediatrics, whatever it is you want to do, you would have been sure by then. Then for your doctorate program, there are lots of schools that are open, right? So if you did your RN and you're working and you want to take a part-time program, LAUTECH is there, OAU is there, University of Ibadan is there, they do distance learning, OAU does distance learning, LAUTECH does distance learning, there's Open University. You can decide to opt for any of these opportunities and don't look for, okay, oh, I have free time. Free time may never open up. You need to grab the opportunity with all your energy. Like, you need to be determined that I'm going to do this thing. And I think in Nigeria it's actually easier. What makes Nigeria bad is the fact that the number of years is just so unnecessarily extended, right? So you have to spend 4, 5, in some cases 6 years, because before you are done with your BSc, which I don't think is fair. My friend has done her own. Next month she'll be done. 14 months, for crying out loud, right? So there's a lot of stones we need to turn in Nigeria, right? But if you don't get to the top, how would you be able to effect that change, right? We are the future. We are the one that can effect that change. But if we don't get to the top, if we remain small, we will not get to where we planned to get to. Please put in the comment section, I will not remain small. I will not remain small. I'll keep ascending, I'll keep ascending, I'll keep ascending. I will not remain small. Let me see your comments, right? So now, if you're outside the shores of Nigeria, let's say you started as a nursing associate. Nursing associate is like an assistant, right? You can move on to become an LPN, a licensed practical nurse, right? And then you can move on to be a RN. But if you left the shores of Nigeria and went outside the country as an RN, then you're fine. When you move on, the next thing you need to do is to pass your NCLEX, right? If you pass your NCLEX, you're fine. And then you get your PIN and you start to work. And then you start thinking of career progression. You decide to do your BSc program. You decide to do your master's program. You can decide to do your master's program in any special. There are so many specialties. Nursing informatics there. Public health nursing is there. Midwifery is there. Maternal health, pediatrics. There are about 300 subspecialties in nursing. There is, no matter how crazy you are as a person, you would find a specialty that you love when it comes to nursing. That's one fantastic thing about this profession, right? You find something you love. So when you become, when you have your master's, MSN, right? Whether nursing informatics, whatever it is, you have your master's in. The next thing is to move on to your doctorate program if you're interested in leadership positions, right? If you want to become a nurse practitioner, an advanced nurse practitioner, you might be able, you might want to consider doing your master's program and then maybe your doctorate. Yes, your DMP program is a very fantastic one. If you're outside the country and you have your BSc, especially if you're in the US, yes, I'm sure with the US, if you have your BSc right now, there's a program you can do the DMP program directly, especially if you did very well. You can do the doctorate of nursing practice program directly from your BSc program. Isn't that amazing? That's what my friend intends to do. And I'm really amazed. I'm like, wow, I thought I left her, but now she has actually, yes, I've started my master's program and I'll finish next year. But this year, she's starting a DMP program. And the DMP program is just 3.5 years, about 3 years, and you're done. Like, you have your doctorate. Isn't that just so amazing? Everything is about determination. Trust me, right? Everything is about determination. Your master's program can be clinical or not clinical, right? So you could go non-clinical and then take managerial roles and decide to be a nurse educator and all of that, right? But you can stay clinical and decide to go into advanced practice nursing degree. Advanced practice nursing degree is fantastic because you can become a nurse practitioner, you can become a nurse midwife, you can become a nurse anesthetist, right? So you have options to rotate around as a clinical nurse, right? So from there, you go on to do your DMP program or whatsoever doctorate program you intend to do. In fact, the fantastic thing outside the country is that if you weren't even a nurse, right, if you have done any other course in the nursing around the health profession, you can still decide to move into the nursing profession by doing a BSc program or an MSc program, and boom, you're made. Next thing, you need to prepare for your NCLEX and pass it and get certified, get your PIN, and you can practice. So trust me, the nursing profession is a very exciting one. Career progression in nursing is exciting. But one thing I want to leave us with is that even where you are at your workplace, where if you are not even talking about your BSc, you're not talking about your master's, you're not talking about your doctorate, wherever you are, make sure you are upskill at your workplace. Upskill at workplace. If opportunities come, take them on. Volunteering opportunities, networking. You can do that, and it should be really helpful. It will help you to grow. If you need to do a BLS program, there's a BLS program that somebody told me about. It's very fantastic. 60,000 naira, 35,000 naira, right? You're done with your BSc program. And your BLS is something that you need to renew every year. But a lot of us in Nigeria just abandon it. Some people's BLS certificate is 10 years old, 13 years old. Outside the country, you cannot practice with an expired BLS certificate. So if you want to take your BLS that is AHA certified, right? Because that's what is very important. If it's not AHA certified, then don't take it. Don't waste your money, right? You can take it online. So reach out to me if you want to take this program, right? It's very good because if you are relocating, you need to have a current BLS certificate. So every year you need to keep renewing that certificate, right? You need to keep reskilling and relearning whatever is new, right, in that offer. Aside BLS, we have ACLS, we have PLS. A lot of programs are out there that will help you to upskill at the workplace and get better, right? Whatsoever unit you are posted to, learn new skills that will help you to stay exceptional and make you to be an amazing personal brand as a nurse, right? So thank you so much for listening. Thank you. I've seen your comments. I will not remain small. I'll keep ascending. Thank you, everyone. Please, when you get back to the WhatsApp group, please encourage others to do well to listen and watch this session, right? Thank you for coming to this free mentorship session by the Stepped Up Nurse. Next week or next 2 weeks, or at the end of this month, we would have another free mentorship session, right? So look forward to it. We might likely be taking LinkedIn optimization, right, which is very, very important, especially for nurses, right? So please do well to show up. I'll be rooting for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an amazing, amazing night's rest.